The ocean vanished for minutes. What happened next was terrifying. A true story based on the real event. 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. The ocean doesn't just disappear, but on the morning of December 26th, 2004, it did. And for thousands of people standing on the shore, that was the last normal moment of their lives. It was early morning, the kind of morning that feels peaceful, almost too perfect. The sun was just beginning to rise over the beaches of Thailand. Soft waves rolled in and out. Palm trees swayed gently in the breeze. Children laughed as they ran barefoot across the sand. Couples walked along the shoreline. Tourists held cameras, capturing what looked like paradise. Nothing felt wrong, until the ocean started breathing backwards. At first, no one noticed. The waves pulled back slightly, then came back like normal. But then it happened again, and this time, the water didn't return. It kept going, slowly at first, then faster. The shoreline began to stretch. 10 meters, 20, 50. The sea was disappearing. People stopped what they were doing. They stared, confused, curious. Some even laughed. Boats that had been floating just minutes ago were now tilted awkwardly on wet sand. The ocean floor, a place no one was ever meant to walk, was suddenly exposed. Fish flopped violently in the open air. Coral rocks glistened under the rising sun. It looked unreal, like the ocean had been drained. And then, people did the worst possible thing. They moved closer. Children ran forward, chasing the stranded fish. Adults followed, pointing, smiling, taking pictures. Some even walked hundreds of meters out, standing where deep water should have been. They thought it was a miracle. They had no idea. It was a warning. But not everyone was smiling. A few locals froze. Their faces changed. Because deep in their memory, in stories told by parents and grandparents, they had heard of this before, and those stories never ended well. Suddenly, the air felt different. The wind shifted. Birds scattered into the sky. And then came a sound. Low, deep, growing, like a distant roar. Far out on the horizon, something appeared. At first it looked like a dark line, easy to ignore, easy to miss. But it was moving, fast, too fast. Within seconds, that line began to rise, higher and higher. What people were looking at was not a wave, it was a wall. A massive, unstoppable wall of water, racing toward the shore. Some people finally understood, and they screamed, "Run!" Panic exploded across the beach. People dropped their bags, their phones, their cameras. Parents grabbed their children. Others turned and ran blindly, hearts pounding, feet slipping in the wet sand. But it was already too late. The wave hit with a force beyond imagination. It didn't crash like a normal wave. It consumed, swallowed the land in seconds, engulfing buildings, trees, cars, people. The sound was deafening. Wood snapping, glass shattering, people screaming, and then silence beneath the water. Some were dragged under instantly. Others clung to anything they could find. Pieces of wood, rooftops, debris. The water didn't stop. It pushed deeper and deeper inland, destroying everything in its path, before violently pulling everything back out to sea. When it was over, the world looked unrecognizable. Entire towns were gone. The beaches that once held laughter were now filled with destruction. Over 200,000 people lost their lives in just minutes. Survivors would later say the same thing. Not about the wave, not about the destruction, but about the moment before it all happened. The moment the ocean disappeared. The moment everything went silent. The moment that felt wrong. Because what looked beautiful, what looked like a once-in-a-lifetime sight, was actually the final warning. And the scariest part. If you ever stand on a beach, and the ocean suddenly begins to pull away, revealing the sea floor, and everything goes quiet, you are not witnessing something amazing. You are standing in the path of a tsunami